You've stopped into another episode of Dad Crossing where myself, Nick, and my co-host Sean will have real, honest chats about the highs and lows of dad life. We'll laugh together at the craziness of parenting and the silliness of our kiddos, and we'll support each other through the challenges and tough decisions of fatherhood. Whether you're a seasoned granddad or a dad-to-be, we promise laughs, relatable, and sometimes raw talk, and expert help to tackle the tough issues. Not from Sean and me, but from the amazing guests we'll have on the show. So let's be dads crossing through life together. So Sean, this topic for this dad life episode, welcome to Dad Crossing, by the way, came from a little incident that I viewed that I was not just from the outside at a soccer practice. It was a couple and a little girl, probably 4-ish, 5-ish, maybe a little bit, probably 4-ish, around there. And she was at the park, and she did not want to leave the park. And the mom was like, "It's time to leave the park. You should probably leave the park. We need to leave the park." And she was like, "No, I don't want to leave. No, I don't want to leave. No, I don't want to leave." And the dad was like, "No, we definitely need to leave this park. I'm done." Probably worked or whatever. Who knows? A million different things. And she was like, "But I don't. She's playing, and she needs to get her energy out, and she should be at the park." And she's like, "But we really should leave. You should leave. Let's leave." And she's like, "No, I don't want to leave the park." So the daughter kept saying. And so then finally the dad was like, "Listen, count to 3, we're leaving. 3, 2," and the wife, and the, I don't know, wife, the mom was like, no, 5 minutes. So they set a timer. Dad, it's like, whatever, fine. And they set a timer, 5 minutes. 5 minutes, ticks down. Now, I'm not just like staring at them. Noah and I are waiting for Ariel's practice to finish, just FYI. And we're playing on the phone, we're playing these 2-player games. 5 minutes is up. And so they're like, "Okay, now it's time to go. Now we got to go." "No, 5 more minutes." "Well, no, not 5 more minutes. We just, no." And he's like, "No, we really, I'm done." And so he starts to like walk over there, and she's like, No. Just 5 more minutes. So you can see, as I think many dads have, you can see like he's just kind of like the steam is a building, right? Like he's like real close. And until they do 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes goes on the timer. Timer goes. She's like, "Okay, now we really have to go. It's time to go. We really have to go." "No, 5 more minutes." "No, not 5 more minutes. Now let's go." "No, 5 more minutes." So dad now had it. Dad now marches over there. You call it surfboarding. I called it like pick her up like a sack of potatoes. Either way works. Like pick it up like a surfboard, pick her up like a surfboard, pick her up like a sack of potatoes. She's kicking, screaming. Mom's freaking out. She's like, no, put her down. And he's like, "Nope, I'm done. We're leaving." And he's like walking out with the kid on his shoulder, and she's like, "Ah." And so I'm like kind of watching. All went well, like there wasn't anything. I mean, granted, maybe not pick her up, probably not greatest thing in the world, but there was nothing like bad, no like physical contacty kind of thing. And so anyways, and then they march out, and she's like, "That's not how you do this. It's not how you do this." And he's like, "Well, this isn't how you do this anyway." It's blah, blah, blah. And so it's just like a whole thing. So that was the inception for this topic of like boiler moments with your kids.
Yep. I have those. And like I said before, when we were discussing what we would talk about, I had one of those kind of incidences this evening. I don't know what it is at the moment with Logan. I don't know if it's just he's finding his feet with what he wants to do, which I'm all for that. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, when like we request him to do something, and he then goes, "Just hang on a second because I want to do this." It's like, well, if you want to do that, you can do it once we just asked you to do the thing that we're asking you to do. It's not going to change anything. And a lot of it tends to revolve around like, I want to watch the last of this thing, or I want to finish doing this on my game. And it's like, he tries to pull the wool over my eyes. It's not that he's online, so I know he doesn't. It's not going to ruin his experience if he just pauses it and turns his switch off, because we both know very well that it'll say exactly where he is and he can carry on. So like this evening, we'd done dinner and everything. We were tidying up. I'd like just finished cleaning downstairs. It's ridiculously warm in the UK. For the UK, it's like been 30 degrees for the last 2 days. What comes with that is humidity. So like I'm in the kitchen where I've been roasting my chicken. I've been cooking on my chicken for work for the next few nights.
I'm sorry.
So the oven's been on. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say I was roasting my chicken off or something like you were like, it's
No.
ridiculously hot and I've been roasting my chicken off. Okay. Anyways, move on. You're literally roasting a chicken. Move on.
Yes. Just put a stick in the spokes there, dude.
I'm sorry. That's my bad.
And so yeah, so the kitchen's really warm. Not had the back door open because we'd have the cat in and out, the dog in and out, the dog chasing the cat chasing the dog, in and out, in and out, and out. The kitchen floor would end up being a mess anyway. So I've got that closed. I've got the like main door closed. So the kitchen's just warm.
Mm-hmm.
So like sweeping, I'm mopping the floor, trying to get everything sorted because it's kind of like once I know we're not going to have another meal, like I like to get the kitchen kind of tidied, ready for tomorrow. So I come upstairs. Logan's in the shower. And I come in and I like sit on the bed for a second, and Lindsay gets up and she goes into our ensuite. So come on, Logan, it's time to get out of the shower. I was like, no, I'm just doing this, and I'm like a bit like the little girl and the mum kind of thing. Can't swallow. So like Lindsay looks at me and I'm like, whatever. And then he carries on for a little bit. And she's like, come on, you really need to get out and stuff like that. He goes, well, I'm just cleaning the glass down, which to this point, I get he's having fun. He's smashing the glass with this loofah. So it gets all soapy. And then he's using the squeegee that we've got to squeegee it all off, like a window cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. I completely understand. And he goes, I'm just doing you a favor, Daddy. And I'm like, you're really not. And I actually said that out loud and I shouldn't have done. So you're really not. The favor you could be doing is getting out of the shower so you don't use up all the hot water. So again, have like a warm shower to get clean, and then I'll set it cold to cool down, sort of thing. And Lindsay looks at me and she like shakes her head and she says, "You know he's only messing." And I'm like, I know he's only messing, but he has like been told 3 times now by you and twice by me that it's time to get out of the shower. So, but yeah, I'm having instance. I didn't go in and pick him up and surfboard him out of the shower because he's wet and one, he's wet and slippery. That's not safe. And 2, it's just not called for. You don't need to do that, especially when So he got out and he was in a mood with me and stuff like that. And Lindsay was like, "Oh, I can't believe you like shouted at him for being in the shower." I was like, "I've shouted him for not listening of getting out of the shower." That's the thing that's annoyed me, is that we've asked him nicely a few times and he's kind of just told us, "No, I want to do what I'm doing." So, but yeah, there's been in times where I've had that instance with the kids and haven't been as cool, calm, and collected as that, and I have shouted, but it's never gets me anywhere. So
yeah, it never does, right? You never win. I mean, with Noah, he just gets huffy and stomps away, and with Ariel, she just melts into a bucket of tears. And then I'm like, well, now I can't get anywhere with her because now she's just this bucket of tears, and she won't actually listen to anything that I say. Like even if it's
it escalates the situation,
yeah.
And then when the wife finds out, you are then like just in the bad books twice over. So it's just really, really not worth losing your cool.
Yeah.
Like I can imagine that guy that picked up the daughter and walked off. I can imagine that like when they got in the car, the argument between mum and dad carried on rather than it being done out of earshot of the kiddo. And after everybody had cooled down, so it wasn't an argument, it was more of a discussion. It's probably happened in front of the kiddo as well. So, it's not great all around sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely not. And it was funny because as we were walking away, we kind of were walking away right as the like surfboarding happened, and I kind of stuck just for a second to be like, okay, make sure that the girl's okay and he's not like lost his cool that much. He hadn't. He was, I mean, not doing the right thing, but not doing anything like physically inappropriate. And Noah was like, wow. He's like, man, that's they're horrible parents. And I was like, well, bud, it's not entirely that simple. I was like, yes, a lot of things were done wrong there by everybody in that party, but it's really easy to throw stones when you're looking from the outside of the glass, calm, cool, and collected, and you're not like in the moment trying to deal with the wife who obviously isn't on your same page of like, I'm ready to get out. She's like, no, let's let her do her thing. And trying to deal with the daughter who obviously is not listening at all. And so, yeah, it's just, I was like, it's just not that simple. And so, yeah, I like this is something that we've dealt with both of them, but more with Ariel lately is that of like, hey, I need you to do this, and she's like, okay, let me just 1 second, and it all depends on what she's doing and well, no, it doesn't depend on what she's doing. It depends on what it is. If it's like, hey, we need to go to school and we really need to go now, then I really need you to go now. If it's, I need you to take out the recycling, I've tried to now be like, Ariel, by the end of this morning, I need the recycling taken out. Because I'm not always the best either, if I'm gonna be honest. When they come to me and they're like, hey, Dad, I could really use you to do this thing. And I'm like, sure, I'll do it. I'll get to it. And I'm okay with that. And they have to be okay with that. And it's like, well, how fair is it? And I understand they're kids, but they're still, they're still in the house and they're still just family members. Like, no matter how fair is it that I'm like, listen, I will get to your thing when I dang well feel like it after I'm done with all my stuff. But like the thing I need you to do or I want you to do, I want you to do it now. And it's like, well, it's not entirely fair. So I try now to give them like a period of time. And then if they don't get it done in the period of time, then I'm like, no, you need to do it now. I gave you your time to do your thing and that period of time, and you still didn't do it. So now it needs to just get done. And so I try to do that. I also am trying to work with Ariel because both of them, but more Ariel, is now like when I say something like, can you do this? They just don't acknowledge me. It's not that they didn't hear me, and it's not, I don't even think they're entirely trying to be rude. They're just like, they heard it, but like they're just not saying anything, and I'm like, no, I need to know that you actually heard me. And so that's the other side of that. Yeah. But that's a different story. That's not part of the story. But the like time thing is something I'm trying to be more generous about and more understanding. That it's like, okay, they have their own agenda, just as I do.
And I agree. If it's something like I need you to have a shower. Like, getting Logan in the shower isn't difficult.
Yeah.
He would much rather have a bath, but getting him in the shower is not hard because he likes to go in. He'll take some of his little like figures in, and he gets washed, and then he kind of just sits in the bottom of the shower with all the water falling on him, and he plays, and he'll do that until the water goes cold, quite happily. But it's like, it's the same with that. If you're trying to go like get him out the door to go to school, or we've like booked to go and do something, and he's kind of like dragging his feet and he's back in the house and up in it. And it's like, if you don't have on you what you need to have on you for while we're leaving, we're now running out of time for you to get that. So, just get out the door, sort of thing. Then I'm on the same page with you. It's like, if it's like, you need to have a shower this evening. Yeah, okay, I'll have a shower this evening. It's like, right, it's the evening now. You need to have a shower, and I'll be like, yeah, okay, I'll go have a shower. But if you're asking him to do something like there and then, it's yeah, but I just want to. I just need to. I'm just finishing, and I'm like, I'm the same as you. I can do it. He came to me this evening. It was literally, I was playing Grounded 2. He wanted a drink to take with him up to bed. He came and sat down next to me, and I was like, I'm just trying to like craft this thing. I don't understand where I'm going wrong to craft it. I'm focused on that right now. Sit here with me, you can. And then like, he's asking questions about the game. He's like, where are the monsters? Are there big monsters in it? Are they real monsters? Or it's like, I told him that you're basically a human shrunk down. And we just sat and had a conversation while he waited patiently for once for me to finish doing my thing. And it's like, he said, sometimes you can just reverse that around and it can be exactly the same. But then with the shower thing, it's like, if I kept giving him more and more and more and more time, that I'll eventually not be able to have. Well, I'll have a shower, but it'll just be an all cold, pure cold water shower, which, with it being warm, is not too bad. But at the same time, I'm like really sweaty and grimy, so I want to have like a warm wash sort of thing. So swings and roundabouts on that one. But it's the it's the parenting styles especially between me and Lindsay, where she is more laid back with a lot of things. Where
Mm-hmm.
for me, I don't know why. I don't know if it's because the the way I've worked for the last 15 years I've been in operations has been like a radio call that if I get a radio call to go and do something, it's like they're shouting it because it needs doing there and then sort of thing. So
Mm-hmm.
I have something requested of me because I need to be there ASAP because they've got an issue. So I don't know if it's like the giving and receiving of information and commands like that is ingrained in me to the point where if I ask someone to do something and they turn around and say, "No, I'll do this in a second," and it's like, "Well, no, I need you to do it now." I don't know if that comes from my years of being at the end of a radio and having to do it, and also being the person telling the other person at the other end of the radio. So, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of like hardwired to feel annoyed.
Just do it and
Maybe
get it done.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's interesting. I mean, I think I talked about like Ariel in summer school. She was actually pretty quick to get everything done in summer school, so I'm hoping she does it because she's very much the lollygag type when it comes to getting around for school too. Like, it's not that she won't.
What a term.
It's just she just does it on her own time, and sometimes that time doesn't include school. So yeah. and it's not really, and here's the thing that I try to keep in my head. I really truly believe she's not like, screw it, I'm not going to listen to dad and do what he wants me to do. It's really that she's got like all this stuff in her head, which I'd love to just be able to plug in for a hot second and be like, wow, that's what Ariel's mind's like right now. She's got all this stuff in her head and she's like, I got to brush my teeth and I got to do the thing. And oh, look there's Dixon. Oh, Dixon could use to be brushed. Dixon needs brushed too. What other thing was I supposed to brush? I don't really remember anymore. I'm gonna brush Dixon. And it's like, and you're like, I just need you to stay focused with me. Just stick with me.
Bless them. The thing is, though, at the moment it's infuriating because you're like, I need you to get this because we have a schedule of time to keep to. But then when you're talking about it now, all I can think is like, yeah, that's really cute.
Yeah, it is. It is really cute.
But it's so nice to just be so.
Yeah, and that's Ariel. Like that's Ariel, and it's just like so great, and it's just like, but also at the same time, it's like, okay, it is great, but there are times where you're gonna have to stay focused on the task at hand, which is to get to school, and to do that, you need to brush your teeth, not Dixon. It's like, just work with me.
Unless you're taking Dixon to school.
Yeah, exactly, and you're not. So anyways, so it's like, it's that, and when I was looking, when I was actually literally, I was kind of breaking down the whole parenting like scheme with Noah as we were walking to get Ariel, because the soccer, there's like 7, 8, 9, probably, I don't know, 9, 10 soccer fields. So we were in the front, they're in the back, so we had some time. And the other thing I mentioned to Noah was like, the one thing was dad had a plan, and actually was a pretty good plan of just like, okay, let's just cut to the chase. We've already asked a million times. 3, 2, 1, we need to go. Okay. Maybe the first 5 minutes is fine. And mom cut him off. And I told him, I said, there are times where mom and dad don't agree. But I won't step on mom in front of you, and mom doesn't step on dad in front of you guys. But we'll have a conversation later about like, hey, you sure that was the right way to do it? Just the same way, Lindsay's whispering to you, like, come on, just the look, so that Logan doesn't get a feel that there's a separation and all that jazz. And it's that same gig. And it was that same thing of like, you guys got, just be on the same, and even if you're not always going to be on the same page, but in front of the kids, be on the same page and hash it out later on who was right and who was wrong, and how it should have been, how you guys can compromise to maybe do it different next time. So
yeah, and you usually find when you do that later on, it is more calm and like you've had time to kind of reflect about what you've done, or like what your partner's done, sort of thing. So you don't end up having this, well, you did this and you should have done this and you should have done that, and it turns into a bitter argument. It's more of a, I noticed that you did this. Like, can you explain why?
mm-hmm.
and it becomes more of a conversation because from, like you said to Noah, from the outside in, you don't know if this little girl is the one that's kind of running the house. She's
She is. She
constantly,
definitely is.
yeah, constantly being challenged by dad, and then overstepped by mum to get what she wants, and at the same time, like dad could be just like sick of not being listened to and being heard, and has got to the point there, and then like, I don't want to be out here. We've been out here ages. It's like I'm warm. I want to get home. I want to
Mm-hmm.
have something to eat. I want to like kind of chill out. And it's just gone. All right, see you later. Into the car we go. And just it's yeah. It's like you said. It's easier to comment on stuff from the outside,
Yeah.
and you don't know what's going to be like going on behind closed doors.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure. And the thing is, like, when you blow your top and you do the thing, then the focus shifts to you. Just like you said in the car. The focus in the car was not the fact that there is a behavior from the daughter that we really need to focus on and figure out how to like get her to it do what we need her to do in a timely fashion and not push back time and time again. The focus was certainly on like, do you know what you just did, Dad? Like, do you
yeah,
know that you just surfboarded our child in the parking lot at the soccer field in front of everybody? Do you know? Like that was definitely like they probably never even got to like the daughter's behavior at that point. She was like sweet, I'm out of the picture now. Dad screwed up enough that nobody even paid attention to my thing. So it's like that's the other problem in there.
yeah, and I mean, all it needed was the first 5 minutes, and mum sticking to the right. We compromised. We didn't go on 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
We've gone after the flight. It's 5
Mm-hmm.
minutes. Now we're saying it. Come on, next time, we'll do the whole 5 minutes thing again.
Yeah.
It's finding that compromise, and then it's coming away as parents and being like, hey, that worked, and we'll try that with other things, like with bedtime. If we have an issue at bedtime, of come on, it's bedtime, and the kid suddenly starts dragging the feet with the, my tummy hurts. I need a drink. Can I do this? Can you do this? I want to do this. All at bedtime, and you constantly like it gets pushed back further and further and further because they don't want to do something, so they're kind of playing their hand to get out of it. So that kind of, I can imagine that argument happens a lot at bedtime in that scenario. That
Mm-hmm.
dad's like, "Look, you've been at this for a while now. It's lights out. Off we go." Um, and mum's constantly like, "Yeah, okay, we'll have one more book. Okay, we'll do this. Okay, if you need to go to the toilet, go to the toilet. Come back, and we'll read another story." And if that's what's happening as well, it's always going to be difficult because there's just going to be that friction there between the two parents. One kind of, because the dad might be pretty chilled. He might have a really good, like he said, that first 5 minutes. He might have been like, "Yeah, okay, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go back to, if she's happy playing, and she's at that age where she doesn't have to be supervised. Mum and dad can kind of sit on the bench and talk."
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'd have done. And if that was me and Logan was wanting to stop at the park for a little bit longer, I'd be like, "Yeah, okay," and then sit and chat with Lindsay about what we're doing tomorrow, what we're having for tea, like what's been going on at work over the last week, if they've been at work, sort of thing. Yeah, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
strange. Well, it's not a strange situation. It's a situation I've seen before. It's a
Yeah.
situation I've been in myself. It's difficult.
Yeah.
There's an element of, as dads, we do a lot. It's in the background. We we go to work. We come home. We try and help out. We try and teach and like values and understanding to the kids, as well as practical skills and stuff like that. And I know mums do exactly the same, but mums, and I'll probably get slandered for this, but mums do, for me, always seem to have this element of unlimited patience.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I agree to that to some extent. I think all the parents blow their top at some level. Dad's maybe a bit more, I suppose. Yeah, probably a bit more. Yeah. 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 I agree.
Yeah.
I agree to
I
some
sometimes
extent.
think there's an element of not, yeah, Yeah. I sometimes think, for the most part, for me, that's the feeling of not being heard or listened to in the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Mum's usually the one that's always around. I'd say that but Lindsay's not always the one that's around because, like, with me having the days off, I'll do the school runs, I'll get back, and the kids spend time with me before Lindsay gets home, sort of thing. But prior to that, like Lindsay working how she works, Logan had Lindsay for like 3 full years to himself every day for 3 years. So mum's the decision maker, mum's the
Mm-hmm.
the one to go to because I'm not always here, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it's difficult because he grew up like not idolizing Lindsay, but he like Lindsay's the one. Mum's always the one to go to for
Yeah.
this, that, and the other. When you come home and like try and take over, and you're maybe the one that runs bedtime and stuff. You're the bad guy
Yeah.
because you're making me go to bed when I don't want to go to bed, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And that can grate on you as a dad eventually.
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, it has me. I've had that conversation with Lindsay, like when Logan was like 2 or 3 years old, and I was like, I come home from work at 7 p.m. Logan's like literally just getting him sorted for bed. He's maybe just got out of the bath, sort of thing, at that age, and we're tucking him into bed and not necessarily fighting with him, but he tried to evade sleep at that age.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just you end up being the bad guy, and because you're tired and you've had a rough day kind of thing, or if it's just a string of rough days, and you kind of just you get this idea of like, I want to get home, I want to like see my kid and put them to bed, and it go really smooth, and you probably have that conversation with yourself in the car on the way home, like, oh, I'm going to get in, and everyone's going to be calmed and chilled, so I'm going to come into the house, I'm going to be calm and chilled too, and just bedtime's going to be a breeze, and then I'm going to get to sit down with my wife and chill out, and then you come in and like your kid's running around with his pants on his head, swinging from the lights like Tarzan. You're like, oh crap!
Yep.
It's gonna be one of those nights. He didn't actually do that. I was just
No, I hear you.
dramatizing.
No, that one actually is real. I mean, so actually, I'm the one that brings the kids in the school year, and then Beck actually gets home later than me. But in the summer, like that, not literally, but something very similar to that happened a week ago. I think it was a week ago, because I think I remember being like, oh, I could have talked about that day. I totally forgot about that in everyday life. And I came in and I was just like, what's up, sis? And she's like, I don't know, like ducks. I was like, oh, okay. And Noah's like looking at me and he's like, it's been rough, man. And I was like,
I'm in the trenches here.
Yeah. And Beck walks up and she's got that look of like, I will kill them all. And I'm like, okay, oh, this is rough. And everybody, like, I mean, Noah tried to make it off like he was fine, but he wasn't. He was in a mood. Ariel was in a mood. Like, I was trying to like make light, and she was like, Dad, I don't know what's so funny. Why are you even trying to be? Why are you even joking? And I was like, okay, all right. There's no win in this battle. And it's like everybody was just like, I don't know, high emotions all throughout the house. I'm not 100% sure what everything was. We never really got to the finish line, but I just knew everybody needed to go to bed. So I was like, all right, we're going to eat, and then we're going to hang out for a little bit, and then everybody's going to go to bed early today. How about that? And everybody's like, no. But the kids, everybody went to bed early that day. And yeah, that happens. But that goes to like the bad guy thing. Like, we don't always do it perfectly. Like, I don't want to make it seem like we do. Like, I've blown my top numerous times. Yeah, there's been numerous things. I actually went down and ran that day because I was like, I'm out. I tried to help the situation, and Ariel just got worse. And I was like, okay. I was like, I don't know. I'm going to go down and run. I was like, y'all just chill out in your rooms and do your own thing. And I'm going to go run. And, but Beck and I try really hard not to have one of us be the bad guy, right? Like, so like when I came home and was like, hey, listen, I think we all need to go to bed. And so Beck was like, well, actually at first I said, I think y'all need to go to your room and you need to stay there until supper. And Beck didn't say anything there. But then when I was going down to run, she was like, I don't think that's a long time. She was like, you said it's going to be like an hour and a half before supper. She was like, that's a little long. And I was like, okay, fine. And so but she didn't, she didn't contradict me in the moment. We had a side conversation. But she was like, yeah, they probably could use to go to bed pretty early tonight. And so we backed each other up on that part that we agreed with. And I think that's important, because you don't want to be like good cop, bad cop. Sucks if you're always the bad cop. And really, it just never works, because that means it never seems like the mom and dad are in agreement, right? So it's like
No.
it's just not, it just doesn't works in the cop shows, but not in real life parenting.
Yeah. There's definitely been times where I've got to the point where I'm annoyed, and I'll just kind of say to Logan, so, right, I'm done. I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
I've asked you. You've not listened. Whatever. Do your thing. I'm done. I'm done. I'm going to go downstairs, out the way, or I'm going to sit on my bed and I'm going to listen to music, or I'm going to read, or I'm going to... And it's at that point, Lindsay will step in, and she kind of he knows he's messed up. If mum starts going with a stern voice, and he kind of you can see the genuine shock on his face, uh-oh.
I love it.
And that's when things progress very quickly. Yes, I'll do this. Yeah, okay. I'm going. I understand. So it's not like I'm always the bad guy. Sometimes I feel like I am. Sometimes I feel like I come in and I might read the room wrong, like you did, coming in and everybody's at 0 and you're walking in on a high 9 and you're like, hey, whoa, everybody in. And everyone's like,
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hard audience.
Fell into a pit of wolves. Great.
Yeah. And sometimes I can come in and I've had a really rubbish day and everybody comes in a really good mood.
Sure.
And I've tried to calm myself down on the way home. Come in, everyone's on a high, I'm on a low, and you kind of walk in a bit of a... And you try your hardest not to bring everybody down with you, so you could just go along with what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, for sure. All those things can happen, and it makes it hard to then express what you want or what you need to have happen when you're trying to have your kids do one thing or another, and you haven't been in the house all day, and then all of a sudden you're trying to fit in, help out, but not be in the way, and help and try to get them to do something and not be the bad guy, but just help out as best you can. So
I usually have this. I've started with a tactic now, where as I finish at 7 p.m., I will either text or ring Lindsay at 6 when it's I filled my handover book out and stuff like that, and before we go for a shower, I'll give her a ring. I'm like, how's your day been? What have you guys been up to? What am I coming home to? Is what I'm asking.
Yeah.
And she'll maybe not sound great on the phone, or she'll be fine. And that's when I usually say, I'm going to nip to the supermarket on the way home. Can I pick anything up for you? Sort of thing. And if she's like, oh, no, I'm good. Then I know it's been a good day and I'm coming into everything being okay. If she's like, I need chocolate, get chocolate. I'm like, okay, I know it's going to be a hard one.
I love it. That's great. That's the code word. Yes, the house needs chocolate. No. Okay, thank you. I get it. I get it. So, yeah.
And it's that. It's the ability to see. Because it could be the other way around. You could see your partner is struggling to get them to do whatever you need to do, and sometimes you might be the booming dad voice, "Listen to your mother."
Mm-hmm.
That it needs for them to trigger, to be listening. So
yeah. So I mean, I guess that's the thing we really wanted to talk about. Is hey, it can be difficult to get our kids to do stuff. We need to understand that they are their own little human beings, and they have their own schedule and agenda. And sometimes it doesn't line up with ours, and sometimes that's okay, and sometimes it's not. and we have to give them some space where sometimes it's okay, and they have to be understanding or have to learn when it's just not. Like when we have to go to school, it's just not okay to have your own agenda because you have to go to school.
Yeah.
So I think there's that part. Even when they do have to go to school, though, I think it's like I try really hard to give Ariel, to give the kids, a little bit of a time frame of like, hey, listen, next you need to be, get whatever you're doing here, and then you need to really be focused on teeth brushing or eating or getting your backpack situated so you're ready to go. But in that, I also try not to give too many things because then they freak out and they're like, I think Ariel kind of stares at me like, I don't know, I got lost on the first two things, so just I don't understand.
For school mornings, my number one rule is once you have had breakfast, brush your teeth, you have everything that you need for school. That's more pointed at Emily because she'll have to take different things for high school. I help. I usually do Logan's rucksack because he basically takes his lunch, and I look at the weather and be like, is he going to need a raincoat in there or is he going to need a hat? And so I'll sort that. But as long as they are like dressed, ready to go, have breakfast and whatever, go do what you want after that. Okay. You are ready for school. I will give you a 10-minute warning, which I usually shout at the stairs, or if like I've grabbed the shower before I'm taken to school, I'll walk past each of the bedrooms and I'll knock on the doors. 10-minute warning.
That's good.
So we're going in 10 minutes. Wrap up whatever you're doing because we are out of here in 10.
Do you let them play video games in the morning?
Again, they can do whatever they want to do once they're ready. If they're ready, they're ready.
I don't let Noah play video games. Here's why. I did exactly what you're doing, almost to the T. My son would wake up. I would wake up, and Noah would be like, "It's all done. I'm gonna go play video games, okay?" And I'm like, "Dude, when did you get up?" He's like, "I got up like 30 minutes ago." And I'm like, "You got up 30 minutes ago. Like, you don't. I got up. I get up 30 minutes before you need to get up. Like, what did you just do?" He's like, "Yeah, I wanted to play video games. You said if I got everything done, I could play." And I was like, "Okay, nope, this is gonna have to go." I was like, "You crazy, man." So I had to get rid of it. That's just a side note. It's not to say what you're doing is wrong. I'm just saying for my son particularly because he will sacrifice sleep so that he can play whatever game he wants to play in the morning. It did not work out. I was like, "No, I need you to sleep in the morning."
It might change if we get to that, but both of them just sleep. So Emily literally has to set an alarm, and she said I had to have a word with her one day because I heard her alarm going off one morning, and it went off at like 6:45, and I heard her say, "Alexa, stop." I always have to look to make sure it's not alerted. The one in the living room, and then another alarm went off at 10:02. And I heard her shout for the alarm to stop. And then another one at 5:02. Shout for the alarm to stop. And I went down at 7:05. She's still in bed. I was like, "What are you doing?" She goes, "Well, I like to set like these many alarms and get up on the fifth one." I'm like, "You set an alarm, get up on that alarm. You don't need 5 alarms. That just leads to snoozing and snoozing and snoozing and snoozing and being late." That's because I used to do. That's what I used to do as a kid, and I could almost guarantee that I would like set 60 alarms and be really annoying to my parents. But you just set the one alarm, set it. I need you to be up for 7, so get up at 7, set the alarm at 7. And she's pretty self-sufficient. She'll go down, she makes her own breakfast and everything. Like she gets herself dressed, does her own hair. It's ace. The 13 is an awesome time because they just suddenly become this person that could do everything. It's like, oh, cool. Well, like Logan, I'll have to go in at like 7 and I poke him. I'm like, "Come on, bud, it's time to wake up." Open his curtains, and then like I'll go and like, start organizing clothes and stuff like that. And then come back in and he's still asleep at like 7:10. "Come on, buddy, it's time to wake up." And then like at 7:30, I'm literally just dragging him out of the bed by the ankles. "Come on." Out you get. And he moans, and he moans, "Come on, I don't want to go to school." And I'm like, if you got up when I first came in and kind of like got you going, if you took a minute just to come around, you got up then, came down, had breakfast, you've burned 25 minutes of your own time here.
Mm.
This is 25 minutes you could have been doing Legos, you could have been you could have been coloring, drawing, playing on the Switch, watching TV, whatever it is that you wanted to do that morning before you go to school. You've wasted that 25 minutes.
So you
So
have
then
the
when we're in the car
opposite
on the way
problem.
to
You're using you're using the video games as a carrot, which makes total sense. It's probably what most parents are doing.
yeah.
I'm like, listen, you need to sleep because because you're getting up so early.
Yeah, once it swings in the opposite direction, which I don't think it will for Emily, but I know it's going to for Logan because that kid's like the Terminator. He was up until just before you called, really, and that's like I just got him to bed and gone out and swapped the cars around so I could charge the car.
So that's like midnight, by the way, for those listening. It's like a midnight your guys' time.
Yeah. Well, we're going on holiday soon, and it's the middle of the holidays still.
Yeah.
So
no, I'm not judging. I'm just saying. I'm just letting people understand how late that dude was up.
But that kid could either wake up at 7 and like have all the energy in the world, or he'll like eventually crawl out of bed at like 10 tomorrow morning.
That's funny.
That's what he did this morning. It was really funny. Like I heard Emily get up as Lindsay took the dog out for a walk at like 8 o'clock-ish. And then I came downstairs and she'd already gone in her room, got dressed and sorted. And then I'm in the kitchen and I'm like making coffee and stuff like that. And I just heard like these little tiny footsteps. And then I heard the dum 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 boom of Logan like jumping down the stairs like he does. And I'm like, oh, Logan's up. Time to feed him. And he came in with his teddy and like his Fall Guys teddy and dumps it on the table and then like kind of sits down. I'm like, morning, bud. And he's like, like, do you want some breakfast? He's like, It's like, well, I need your bowl. You took your bowl with like snacks in upstairs. And he goes, and walks back up the stairs and comes down and then gets into the kitchen, bless him, and goes, I bet you're going to tell me to go get my juice cup as well. I'm like, yeah, why didn't you think of that while you were up there?
Well, he's just like, I could get it now, but I'll wait and see if it's really what he wants. Oh, I was right. Okay, I'll go. It's funny.
Yeah. So it's just, he's so funny. He's definitely like me. He is very much a night owl, runs on very little sleep, but he's also like his mum, where if he hasn't had enough sleep, he's not a morning person. So he's kind of like he wants both worlds, but it doesn't work.
That's funny. All right, so to wrap, like, work together. If you don't agree in the moment's not the time to hash it out. Wait and hash it out later. And try not to have any one person be the bad cop. Yeah, I don't know what else am I missing. Any other tips in these hot moments of
I just
not listening?
Have a way of letting each other know that you've had enough. Like the dad in the scenario with the story that you started at could have said to the mum, and like, I understand that you want her to do this, but like, I want to go. I'm done. I'm not. I can't keep my cool. There should have been a conversation in the quiet, or a way of turn a phrase that lets the other person know, I'm done. I'm ready to go.
Yep.
And vice versa. Be mindful that your partner might not be in the same mindset at the time as you to want to carry on doing what's going on. So, you might have to be the one that then turns around and be like, hey, look, we've compromised with you. We've given you some extra time. It's, come on, it's time to go and do the thing that we need to do, or we need to go home because we need to eat. Something like anything like that. So just be mindful of how each other feel.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good for sure.
Cool. Right. Well, I'm gonna say bye before I carry on talking, because last week iced tea didn't help. This week Ribena hasn't helped. So we'll find a drink.
Figure it out.
So I don't think it's just this dry. It's this damp air, warm, damp air, and
Mhm.
talking for a while. It's just not working. And I'm literally like sat here dripping. So, yeah. Suffering in the UK right now.
Yeah.
Shouldn't you give it 6 weeks and I'll be complaining about how cold it is.
That's just like Michigan, for sure.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks very much for listening. We hope you have a good weekend, and we hope you get the kids have all been sorted and back to school, because by the time you listen to this, they'll be 3 days in or just starting.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
Adios,
See you later.
guys.
Thanks for tuning in to Dad Crossing. We're here to remind you that this podcast is made by dads for dads. It's a place where all of us can come together, share a laugh, and tackle the wild ride that is fatherhood. If you want to keep the conversation going or just need a safe space to chat or ask for help, you are always welcome to reach out. You can find me, Sean, at Sean_Abbott, and you can find my good friend Nick at Nick10Do. And of course, give our social media platforms a good look over, because that is where we share all the updates, all the laughs, and all the things dad life. That is, everything is at Dad Crossing. For anything more, feel free to drop us a message at team@dadcrossing.com. And until next time, stay strong, stay connected, and remember, you're never alone on this journey. We'll see you in the next episode of Dad Crossing.